as we all know, being a Spurs fan this year, it's been an interesting one to say the least. I think we say that every year. But anyway, this year we've had some great results. Obviously beating Man United 3-0, beating Everton 4-0. And then we've had some rather odd results. That being said, obviously giving Palace and the likes of Luton their first ever win of the season, which has kind of left many people to feel a bit torn between whether they're still Ange in or Ange out. As we know, Twitter's probably not the best place to source all your information, but you can tell that the fan base is split. Welcome to another video from me, Hollie Agombar, on Hollie's Hotspurs, where today we're going to discuss about Ange's current tenure at Tottenham Hotspur. Obviously, as we know, we are kind of into that second season of this project with him, and many fans have different kind of views about him and obviously the way that Spurs are playing. Currently we are sat 11th, however the league table this season seems to be all over the gaff, with it only being 3 points between 11th and the all amazing Arsenal sitting right at the top. So we're not far off of the smoke. The trouble is some fans are a bit displeased at the fact that obviously we have blown some teams away and then not managed to blow the teams that we should be beating in the same kind of manner. So in today's video, if you are new, please remember to like, share, comment and subscribe so you never miss a video. Obviously there's no Hollie's Hotspurs live this week, so I thought I'd give you a little taste of what some other people are thinking of Ange's time. Now I've asked the guys 3 different questions, that being, are they Ange in, Ange out? How they are kind of feeling with the project with Ange at the moment, and what do we need to do in January to kind of hopefully get us on the right path in the second half of the season. With me today, I'm joined some people you may recognise from different kind of Spurs YouTube spaces and on Twitter. So make sure you listen to their views, make sure you give me your thoughts in the comment sections below. So without further ado, let's fire away.
What's going on, Hollie? It's Sonny from SonnyTalksSpurs. You want a few answers to these questions. First one, am I Ange in? Yes, I am Ange in, because I think it would be too knee-jerk of a reaction and too silly from the club to sack this manager so soon into his tenure. You know, a year and a bit. We haven't really been able to see what he can achieve fully. And I pose the question to any Spurs fan who's Ange out. Who do you want? Because you could throw at me Thomas Frank or Marco Silva, but like I don't know what level we are at. Like, we can't go and get an elite manager right now, and I think Ange, given time, can become an elite manager at this level. I just feel like he knows the issues he has at the club. He knows how to outline it. He does play good attacking football. We just need to iron up the defence, and I guess that will come and be the answer to the issues question. I'll answer that one now, actually. Yeah, I feel like some of our defenders individually have been not good and not been performing well as a unit. Last year, I know people said our defence was bad, but as individuals, they work quite well. But the drop-off from Udogie, Romero, Pedro Porro needs to be improved. And maybe Ange needs to tweak his system slightly, depending on the opposition. Maybe, you know, don't play the high line if you don't have Mickey van der Ven, sort of thing. And where do I think we'll finish this year? I think we will finish 5th or 6th. I'm going to go 6th. I feel like we should prioritise the cups over league position, but I think 6th would be quite a good season in the sort of process we're going through. And finally, my thoughts on January. I think we still need a top 6 in midfield. Bentancur obviously might be banned at some stage. Basuma, is he good enough? I'm not so sure. So I'd say we should go all in for that in the winter transfer window. Apart from that, maybe another forward, but I don't know if that's the priority right now. But yeah, that's my thoughts, Hollie.
Hi Hollie, ChrisCowlin here. Thanks for asking me on. I'm just here to give my thoughts on the season so far and Ange Postecoglou. Of course, it has been a very indifferent season, but the first question that you've asked me is, are you still Ange in? Absolutely I am. We've had 7 managers since and including 2019. Pochettino now to Ange Postecoglou. 7 different managers in the dugout in just that short space of time. We cannot keep hitting that reset button, and we cannot keep replacing managers going through all of these cycles. The guy needs time, he needs patience, and he needs the tools, and most importantly, he needs the backing from the board. You know, the continuous backing in transfer windows and from the board to take this football club forward so we can be successful. I think Ange Postecoglou It's very evident he is trying to change the mentality at the club, not only from within, but the fans as well. And I believe that week by week, month by month, Ange Postecoglou is changing little bits here and there at the football club, making it a better club, making it a better environment for the players. And ultimately, he's trying to change that mentality within the fan base as well. So no, there's no way that I would like to see Ange Postecoglou leave the football club at this stage. I think there is so much more to do. I do believe he is the right man for the job. When it does click, it really does click. But the biggest problem that we have had this season, we've been very wasteful in that final third, and we have been very inconsistent in terms of results. Losing that Crystal Palace game when they hadn't won a Premier League game all season. And then, of course, our most recent result, losing at home to Ipswich. Dr. Tottenham will see you now. I absolutely hate that term. I hate the term Spursy, but we have been extremely inconsistent. These games where on paper we should have won and the results haven't been there and some of the performances haven't been there. Some of these players really need to step up, but I do believe that Ange Postecoglou is the right man at this present time to take Tottenham Hotspur forward. But as I've said, and as I'll continue to say, the board do need to back Ange Postecoglou in future transfer windows, and the recruitment needs to be absolutely spot on, making sure that these are the right players that are going to do a job in Ange Postecoglou's system. You've asked me where Spurs will finish at the end of the season. I have no idea, but at this stage, I would just like to see Ange and the club take the cup competition seriously. The cup competitions mean an awful lot to the fans, and hopefully we can put a trophy in the cabinet, sometime in the near future, because I really believe that we're capable of doing that. Ali McCoist on TalkSport said the other day that Spurs can beat anyone on their day. We absolutely can, but of course, as I've already mentioned, we can also lose to anyone. Crystal Palace and Ipswich, to name two clubs. Two disappointing results and performances. But on our day, we can beat anyone. The players need to step up. Ange Postecoglou perhaps needs to make a tweak here or there. We need to strengthen in future windows as well, as I've already mentioned. But take the cup competition seriously. You never, ever know what will happen. I think there is a long way to go. I think there is an awful lot more work for Ange Postecoglou to do. And he knew what a big job this was that he was walking into. And I think that people need to remember sometimes what a huge job it was that he walked into, what a mess he walked into. And slowly he is sorting bits out, as I say, week by week, month by month, and hopefully it will be year after year.
Hey, it's Jim here from So Spurs. I'm going to be answering 3 questions today for Hollie's Hotspurs. Am I still Ange in? Where are we going to finish this season? And what do we need to do in January? Am I Ange in? I am completely 100% Ange in. That is because I feel it's easy to forget he's had to overhaul 18 of a 25-man squad in 18 months. He lost Harry Kane, which dragged that team to 8th, which I think would have been more fairly reflected in 12th to 15th without his goals in that season. I think the squad was that bad. Our senior pros at the time when he came in were Hugo Lloris, Ivan Perisic, Eric Dyer, Davison Sanchez, Lucas Moura, players that were completely finished at Tottenham, but soaking up that wage bill. Ndombele, Lo Celso. It was a squad completely in need of an epic overhaul. And he's done a lot in a short amount of time. And overall, the talent ID has been pretty good. It hasn't been perfect, but I'd say 8 out of 10 times he seems to be getting the signings pretty spot on. It's also worth noting with the overhaul, when you have a budget of around 100 million a season and you've got to bring in 18 players, that budget gets thinly spread across a large number of players. So it was a difficult task for Ange, and I think he's doing well there. Where will we finish? I think this season we've still got issues. We still need I'll discuss that in the next bit on our January transfer window thoughts. But I think Tottenham are on course to finish 4th this season. I would not be gutted and disappointed with 5th or 6th. I think that's entirely possible as well, but I still think they will manage to get 4th over the line. However, I believe if Spurs can get into the latter stages of the Europa League, which I would love to see, that would be what sees us ironically drop down to 5th or 6th. And I hope we would prioritise that competition this year, because we'd get in the Champions League anyway, and that trophy is what we all need to get behind this project. What's the biggest thing we need to improve in January? I think we need a 6. desperately to make the system work. It covers so many gaps. It reduces so many fragilities in Ange's system. We need that ball-carrying player. We're going to lose Bentancur for 7 games. And even though we've got some brilliant midfielders in that squad, none quite have the profile of a true 6 that I think Postecoglou's system really needs. And secondly, we need to find that backup left-footed wing-back to accompany Spence and cover us so we can rotate more often in games. So that's my ultimate finding. I think we will either be 4th and not win a trophy, or we will be 5th and win a trophy. And I actually believe it will be the latter. Up the Spurs.
What's happening, people? Harry Scarf here, football content creator and YouTuber and founder of the Scarfy Spurs YouTube channel and podcast. Big up firstly to Hollie. Thank you very much for having me in for this opportunity. So let's get straight into your questions. Firstly, about whether I'm still Ange in or not. I think, regardless of what you think of Ange Postecoglou, to get rid of him right now and start yet another project, another rebuild is not the right thing to do for the club, especially not mid-season. I never believe in getting rid of a manager halfway through a season. I just don't see the point in it, and I think people are being a bit judgmental after 11 Premier League games. Don't get me wrong, that there's faults in there that he needs to fix. He's talked about a lot, only 3 away wins on the road, for example, in 2024. That isn't good enough. We're inconsistent. So, but overall, I'm still behind Ange Postecoglou. For me, you give him to the end of the season unless something goes dramatically wrong. He needs that full second season. He has had that back in, but at the same time, I think last season we all would have taken it at the start of the year, finishing 5th. I think it's easy to forget now, but last year overall was a really good season despite the end. So where we will finish, I think personally that we will win a trophy. I think whether it be the Carabao Cup or Europa League, I'm not quite sure. I think the appointment of Ruben Amorim makes the Carabao Cup harder to win. So I'm leaning towards winning the Europa League or progressing to the latter stages anyway. But in the league, I think our league form, we're finding a little bit of consistency, maybe improve slightly away from home, but not drastically. So I think we'll finish about 7th, but win a trophy, and I'll absolutely take that. And I know many Spurs fans will. For me, 16 years without a trophy, it has to be a trophy over top 4 now. Biggest thing we need to improve on, I mentioned it there, away form. For me, that's a big thing. If you want to become that next level, you want to get inside the Champions League, you want to win trophies, you can't have that big of a problem away from home. We don't travel well, and we need to desperately fix that if we want to win a trophy. That's a big thing, and do well in the league, which will still mean a lot to the club, maybe not quite as much to us fans. And also my January transfer window faults. I think, looking back on the summer, the signing of Dominic Solanke was absolutely massive, but I do think we've been left short in some areas, like left back. Though I think it's crazy to go in the idea of just a doggy as cover and saying maybe Archie Gray can play there or Davis, but Ange plays with the inverted fullbacks, doesn't really suit him. So for me, the priority going into January is someone to compete with a doggy. So it's a doggy, get a rest, keep him on his toes. That for me is quite a big thing. But also in terms of shifting out the club, I think there'll be a little bit of movement. I love Richarlison, but he's got a lot of injuries. So if a good bid comes in for him, I may look to move him on. Obviously, you've heard reports Werner's loan may be ended as well, so we'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah, for me, the priority is left back, and if anyone leaves in attack, then bringing in a winger. But left back for me is the priority going into the window, or if you can get another centre back cover as well, would be fantastic. But out of anyone, it would be the left back. It would be my priority. So thank you very much for letting me to do this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Hollie's channel. A massive come on you Spurs.
So yes, there you have it. Big up to everybody that helped me in this video. Make sure you go follow them and subscribe to their channels too, because it was a real help trying to put this video together to get some views on how other people are feeling. I think the general consensus is that we're all still kind of happy with Ange. There's a few things that he needs to tweak and learn, but I still feel we're on the right path if we stay with Ange Postecoglou. Don't get me wrong, still a little bit more work to do, and it is frustrating dropping points against teams that we should be beating, but I still believe at the moment. But yes, it's been an interesting one to kind of dissect during this international break. Hotspurs Live will be back next Monday. We'll have the Hotspur Huddle this Wednesday too, so make sure to check out that one. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and until next time, come on you Spurs.